Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Thursday, the 29th of January. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my tactical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, okay, we saw some higher highs yesterday and then a pullback, and we're pretty close back to the highs. Qs were definitely leading. Qs, we've got a nice break over the December highs and the January highs so far, and this is looking pretty good to make a new high on NQ, but we haven't actually quite made it yet. What we have done is we've seen a new all-time high on QQQ, I think it might be, but whatever it was, they switched in a couple of years ago. I always get mixed up. But we haven't quite seen a new all-time high on NDX yet. And NDX is the dog, NQ is just the tail, and QQQ is just the tail as well. We will see how that goes, but I'm expecting to see that made soon. And when it does happen, we are in an inflection point there, because that was the last of the all-time high retest that I was talking about in December. As we are coming into that, I'm obviously very aware that we've got a bullish leading week next week, particularly bullish on Monday, but with followed through bullish days on Tuesday and Thursday. And well, I'll be watching that with great interest. There is always the possibility that we're going to see a break up, and this market's kind of crazy, so you could say. RTY has been muted, hasn't made new highs there. YM again has been muted. Might be a triangle forming here, I'm thinking. DAX went back and is not close to the all-time highs at the moment, and ESTX is still holding slightly above the weekly pivot and not that far away. All right, looking at the bigger picture charts. Hang on, sorry, wait a second. Right, looking at ES. ES, we made a new all-time high. Very nice looking overall double top here, and not a bad looking smaller double top here with support here at 68.1450. I'm concerned that we're going to lose these double top setups if we have a strong week next week. SPX looks pretty much exactly the same. We made a new high by a small amount. I think it's about 14 points or something. And on the hourly chart, we've got an hourly RSI 5 sell signal fixed, which hasn't made target yet. Nothing to say really on the 15-minute. Weak RSI 14 sell signal reached the possible near miss target there, but we have broken this nice looking rising support trend line here, and we might be topping out short term. Looking at the Qs, we did make a new all-time high here. I went and checked on NDX. We haven't made a new all-time high there yet, but we're very, very close. And I'm thinking that might get sorted out in the next day or two. We don't have a short-term top here, but we do now have a very nice-looking overall double top here, which I'm watching carefully. On the hourly chart, no current divergence. 15-minute chart, not a lot to say really. Nothing obvious on either of these that looks like a reversal pattern, although I would say, hang on, wait a second, on the 15-minute, nope, we do not have a sell signal there. I'm sorry, I was just need to move the text to see. Looking at Dia, we're still in this very, very nice rising wedge from the April low, which is, as long as this wedge holds, that severely limits the amount of upside that we can see on Dia. We will see. Although we don't have that kind of block on SPX, we could still expand these original wedges on SPX and the Qs, which we haven't done yet. And this is why I'm watching the double tops here on both, because if we're not going to, then it may be that upside is severely limited and we're going to move into a period of consolidation and or retracement. In terms of the hourly chart here, this double top didn't quite fail, but it came close enough that I'm inclined to call this a potential larger double top here. We've still got an RSI 14 buy signal fixed, and that hasn't made target yet. On the Dia 15-minute chart, nothing to see. All right, let's have a look at the IWM chart. IWM, obviously we've been seeing some, there was one last thing to mention on the Dia chart, so actually let's have a quick look at that. On the daily chart, we saw yesterday the close was at 490.47, so we're just holding the daily middle band, but it's been tested for 3 out of the last 4 days, and the last 2 have basically been closes on the middle band. If we lose that, then that increases the odds that we're going to see some more downside. IWM, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed, and we've got an RSI 5 sell signal fixed, and that has been playing out while Qs have been making a move upwards. We are getting closer to the daily middle band, and I'm wondering whether that might get tested, and that's currently in the 260 area. Looking at the hourly chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal here, which hasn't reached the possible near-miss target yet, and I'm leaning towards making that target. 15 minutes, we had an RSI 14 buy signal, which is fixed and made the target yesterday. All right, looking at DAX, DAX is still holding the daily middle band as resistance and is falling away from it at the moment. In isolation, I'd be wondering about a low retest at 24.3k. On Nikkei, we are still testing the daily middle band, which has now been not quite fully tested, but been very, very near miss-tested the last 2 days. Long as that holds as support, I'm looking for a retest of this high here at 54.5k, setting up a potential little level top. Okay, let's have a look at DX. DX, I'm wondering about a rally here. We've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed. There's nothing really obvious in terms of a bottoming pattern here, but I am wondering about a flag forming, which could see a higher high, maybe going up into the 97 area. Looking at the other currencies, 60-minute sell signals reached possible near miss target, but we could be forming a mirror bull flag on the euro. We've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed on GBP USD, possible bull flag forming. USD JPY, we're seeing a bit of a rally here. This looks like an intervention here. And I'm not expecting to see a huge rally here. I am wondering if we're going to see more downside here on the dollar, and I'm going to try very hard to get a post out today on that. USD CAD, I've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed, but we're still pretty much at the lows. Australian dollar, 60-minute sell signal fixed, and NZUSD 60-minute sell signal fixed. These are all suggesting, these last 3, that we're going to see some more upside on the dollar short term. Okay, looking at ZB. ZB, we came back. We lost a lot of the previous rally. We have got a weak 60-minute buy signal fixed, but it is very weak. It wouldn't surprise me to see this continue down. Bigger picture, the patterns stay down on bonds and up on yields. In terms of ZN, this what looks like a flag breaking down here, but it's possible it could be evolving into a larger flag. Looking at CL, CL, we had a sell signal here and it failed, and we are making tracks to the upside here. I'm wondering about a move up into the 68 area, and I am wondering whether we could be seeing the start of the big rally that I've been talking about on oil for quite a while. But in the short term, I think this recent, the last couple of days, is mostly about possible US intervention in Iran, which obviously, I mean, the thing is, we've got 2 big oil producers which are both sanctioned and both in significant amount of trouble at the moment, and one of them is Iran and one of them is Russia. Now, Iran's the smaller producer, but between them, I think they produce about 12 or 13 million barrels of oil a day. Excess in the market was reckoned to be about 4 million barrels a day. Potentially some significant trouble on both sides, and they are both having significant trouble because Iran looks as though, maybe undergoing a revolution, not before time, and be at risk of having some serious disruption there. Russia's already getting serious disruption. The shadow fleets being picked up across the world. Ukraine has basically cut their production by a large amount already. We could see some serious disruption there. This could actually push this the overall oil position from a surplus against demand into a deficit against demand, and that, as we've seen before, can spike up oil prices a long way. On a break over, I think 78, and obviously we're a long way away from that, I would have a target in the 100 area, which I would be wondering about. Okay, HO is going higher as well, not helped by the cold snap. This has been the strongest performer. On RBOB, we are going higher as well. On NG, we've got a flag which is breaking up, and we should see at least a retest of this high here in the 4 area. Just in terms of where we are on the between February and March, we've now got NG February has now closed out. And actually, the last price is showing at 7.46, which would be some like $3.50 above the March level. We are now just looking at the March level. And you can see that is a long, long way down. So that should start feeding into the daily prices tonight. And that will be a big decline. In terms of where we are going from there, my lean is probably down, but it's possible it might get some of the same disruption that we're seeing in the oil markets. All right, GC has gone higher. We've made it up to 5,500. Amazing run. I have been saying don't stand in the way of this, but I am thinking this has gone sufficiently parabolic that I'm wondering whether we might see a significant short-term high made soon, followed by a significant retracement, which would, in terms of, this has gone up from like 40, in really one increasingly fast run here over the last couple of months. Actually, this is really just the last month. So this has gone up from 4,300 to 5,600. At that stage, it wouldn't be unreasonable to be thinking about a back test of 5,000 at the minimum. On SI, we have gone a little higher, potential level top there. Week 60-minute sell signal is fixed, but that doesn't mean a great deal. The last two of them failed, of course. In terms of palladium, we are coming back up into a likely retest of the high. Platinum, probably coming up into a retest of the high there too. HG, we had a sell signal and it failed. And what we're now seeing, what we've got right in front of us here is a break over the big resistance level that we had. We've no longer got a potential double top here. We are seeing an absolute a breakup over the existing trend lines. So we're actually getting up into blue sky area. Now, it might be this would be quickly rejected, but I'm not seeing any evidence that would likely be the case. Copper has broken high. All right, and let's have a look at KC. Still leaning towards seeing a retest this low, wondering about a possible triangle forming. On sugar, still looks like a bear flag forming. CC may well continue downwards. I'm thinking my target area basically starts at about 3,800, so we'd need to go down another 400 or so to get to it. See, CT, nice looking double bottom here, might be heading lower anyway. Lumber, nice looking double bottom here, not showing much enthusiasm about making the target, and the longer we take, the more I am aware that obviously the bigger picture is likely to be bearish. ZW is getting pretty close to the double bottom target. I've got that in the 546.5 to 549 area, and we are getting pretty close to that. Possible 60-minute sell signal break. On corn, going a little higher. Nice looking potential level top, and as soon as we retest this short time high, we will get a possible 60-minute sell signal break. On soy, having a crack at getting toward this double bottom target in the 1104 area. Obviously, the Chinese are not, as far as I'm aware, buying significant quantities yet. They're not the only market, of course, but I think it would be heading up with more enthusiasm if there was some good news there. On ZL, we've got a potential double top here, week 60-minute sell signal fixed, and I'm thinking this double top might play out. This has gone a long way, much further than soy itself did. On LE, we have the double top that I was expecting to fail, has failed. We've got a potential larger double top here. And I am wondering whether we might see some more retracement. HE, we've got a 60-minute sell signal. It's reached a possible near miss target. The obvious target within this channel would be the channel support in the 93.125 area currently, and I am wondering about a possibility that head and shoulders might be forming here. All right, let's have a quick look at questions. Bear with me a moment. Yeah, I am wondering about commodities reaching tops here. Yeah, I can look at it, okay. So in terms of, hang on 1 second. It's a while since I've looked at the Nikkei futures, but I think that's pretty easy. I think it's just under the. Hang on. Yeah, right. All right. Sorry, I'm just picking the dollar denomination one. March. Okay. Honestly, kind of looks like a triangle forming, setting up a retest of the high. So that kind of fits with what I was talking about on the main chart, but I just want to see what it looks like in yen. Hang on. All right, let's actually look at the main chart here. Futures, March. This should have some volume, I think. Yeah, this looks like a triangle forming, setting up a retest of the high. That's more or less what I was thinking on the daily chart as well. As long as we're holding the daily middle band, and so far we've been holding the daily middle band. All right, great. Unless there are any more questions, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Cheers.